So for unboxing today, we have two Legion items. The Separatist Specialist that just came out, and Darth Maul and his Sith probe droids. So Darth Maul's been out for a bit, but he's been a bit of a pain to get a hold of. Fortunately, one of my local game stores, the last one I visited, of course, had about 10 of them in stock, so I was able to pick one up. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Maul. And let's see what we got here. This guy's been so hard to get. I've been seeing it on eBay for upwards of $70, which is insane, considering it's a retail tag of $20. So we got some nice clear acrylic GW style flying stands for the probe droids. Alright, so the probe droids themselves, 3 parts. Pretty simple there we are. Pretty simple looking construction. And we have Maul with several different poses. So let's take a look at our usual lovely instructions. So here we have the probe droids, which is just put them together and stick them on. I will probably wind up painting them on a pin or something else before mounting, because I want to keep those nice clear acrylics that way. I do like that they give you 4 of the stands for the 3 models, so you can choose which heights to use. Alright, so Maul we have with this little, looks like a little left-handed grip and then force push, 2-handed grip, or with a right hand. Not a big fan of the 2-hander. Right-handed looks nice, but I think I'm going to have to go with the left. I like that look of the force push there. So again, it's nice that they give different options. Also looks like we have 2 different head options. A kind of leering head or a more serious mouth closed option, so that's nifty. The back of the box kind of shows it fairly well. So let's see here. And you can see open mouth there, closed mouth there, so that's pretty nifty. So we'll have to have some fun putting him together. Again, we've got our Legion bases. I'm not a huge fan of the Legion bases. They're very tall, so not top on my list of things. We have our custom tokens. Some interesting looking bits there, and whatever that one is. We have his cards. So these are for his combat tactics. And then we have the Sith probe droids. It can only come with Maul, apparently. So let's see, jump, perform a move, ignoring terrain, height 1 or lower. Treat this as a move action, so that's nifty. Can deflect, of course, most of them can. Immune, pierce. Pierce cannot be used against you. Interesting. Kind of messes with other Jedi's lightsabers. And Juyo Mastery. While you are wounded, you can perform 1 additional action during your activation. Limit to 2 move actions. So if you wound him, you're gonna piss him off. 4 red and 4 white dice. Ouch. Impact and pierce, so he can mess up armor on both vehicles and people. So let's see, we've got the can only be used on an icon only. Interesting. So only if you have a force icon can you also take this as well. So while it's a I think it's like a leadership or something increase, You have to be force active in order to do that. In self-order, gain tactical 1. Force barrier to help a nearby group. Anger and fear are pretty standard. Force choke is pretty standard, and the comms jammer. Comms jammer on Maul. Can he take a? He can't take a comm, but his droids can. So stick a comms jammer on the droids, keep him around Maul, and while Maul's engaged with a unit at range 1, that unit can't be issued orders. So that's one way to really play with someone's day. So there's some pretty nice options there. Now, let's take a look at our Separatist specialists here. So this is kind of a mixed bag of stuff. So we've got new unit upgrade command cards, yep. Generic commander unit and personnel upgrades to other units in the army. So it looks like we've got the kind of Clone Wars commander guy. Don't remember seeing this multi-armed guy. Like an interrogation-y type droid guy. And then this little guy. Not sure who he is, so let's find out. These are most recent release for the Separatist. So let's see what we got here. We have the Viper Recon droid from the Clone Wars cartoon, I remember now. I think these are all from most of the cartoon. Medical droid. The T-Series tactical droid. Oh, and here, worker droid. So Bob. We have the droid named Bob. The tactical droid can come with a gun. Also has a pair of binoculars as an option. Looks like the Viper droid might have a couple. Has a couple different types of legs, so you can have him kind of hanging, legs hanging down, or in flight. So that's a nifty option. The other two are fixed and static. So let's see what their cards say. Once again, we've got flying bases for the flying droids, so that's kind of nifty. I find it interesting how they're taking some of these droids that come from the animated show and kind of making them look a little more real. Oh, so we also have the command cards for our T-Series tactical droid. So let's see, he has bolster 2, choose up to 2 friendly units at range 1. Each unit gets a surge token, that's nice. You can direct a droid trooper unit during the command phase. You may issue an order to friendly droid trooper unit at range 1 to 2. And he has sharpshooter 1. While performing a ranged attack, reduce the defender's cover by 1. Which is good because he has a weak ass blaster, 1 red, 1 white. But you know, he's a 55-point leader, so that's his advantage. I mean, Maul is 160 without his droids, so it's a little bit of a cost difference. So this is the only one that actually has a unit card. Then we have you can take the T-Series as a droid trooper upgrade, as a person upgrade, and they lose the AI and gain reliable, and he becomes the unit leader. So interesting. The medical droid can be attached to droid troopers as well. Treat 1, capacity 2. Place 1 wound token on this card to remove 1 wound or poison token from, or restore 1 mini to a friendly non-droid trooper at range 1. So he can keep Grievous or Maul, your human leaders, alive, basically. And he is a non-combatant. PK series worker droid. Repair 1, capacity 2. So same thing, but he can repair vehicle from a friendly droid or vehicle at range 1. So that's cool. And then the recon droid. Again, droid troopers. Observe 2. Choose an enemy unit at range 1 to 3 in line of sight. It gains 2 observation tokens. Sidearm while performing a ranged attack. This mini can only use the weapon on this card. Portable scanner. Can be equipped B1s despite the requirement. Vigilance, inspiring presence, improvised orders, and HQ uplink. So that's interesting. Not sure I know what a observation token is, but I will have to look that up. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the... We've seen the assembly diagram. There's the stand. Ooh, these are very fiddly. Look at that. And very stuck together. Alright. Come on. You can separate. There we go. So we got the T series on here, as well as our little observation droid. Very cool. And then this has the medic and the mechanic. So we'll get these assembled and see how they look. Alright, so here we have Maul in all of his glory, and he came out pretty nice, I think. I like the force push pose. The face I've chosen, I think, looks pretty good. All grinny. Details are nice. The only thing I've found with him is he's rather undersized, I think, compared to Dooku. So, little odd there. His droids, these were 4-piece. So you have the centerpiece, the 2 halves, and the little sensor pod on the side. You do have to be careful to make sure that the center is lined up correctly with the halves, as the center does have the attachment point here. So it has to make sure that it is facing the correct direction. I had to peel one of mine apart to fix that. Also, as these come with extra stands, I'll probably use the stands in like a light PVA glue or something like that to attach them temporarily while I prime and paint them, just to make sure that they stay on a pin properly, and then I'll move them to their permanent stand when I do the bases. Now, as for the droid specialists, we've got our little recon droid here. He's pretty cute. I went with the legs in motion variant as opposed to the static down variant. I think they just look more animated for the battlefield. He was pretty easy, not much to say. He's like a tiny little probe droid. Now we have our mechanic droid, as I'm calling him, or worker droid is his proper name. I like the fact he has a nice little B1 droid head in his hand that he's carrying around to fix. Again, pretty easy to put together. The tactician, I'm really looking forward to having a cheap alternative to a leader to be able to field. Plus then you can just have an entire army of droids, no living at all. I went with the gesturing and the trinoculars because I thought as a leader he would not be carrying his gun around. He would be telling the other droids to do the shooting. Now, this guy, he was a giant pain, really. The lower half and the torso, head, that's all easy. But these arms are super annoying. They use really tiny ball joints to basically adhere the secondary set of arms at the same time. So I found it super annoying to try and mount these, and this didn't even mount strong enough to hold. This came off shortly as I was prepping to make the video. So I'm going to have to reattach those. But so there's a slight attachment point there, and then the other arms are supposed to basically attach ball joint on top of ball joint, and then you have to hope that they'll stay in the proper position. So kind of a pain, even with plastic glue doing the melting piece to it. It was kind of annoying, and as you can see, came off pretty cleanly. But he is the medic droid, so I'm not sure how much I would actually wind up fielding him. But yes, so all in all, a nice couple of boxes there. I look forward to seeing how they perform on the tabletop, especially Maul running around and making a pain of himself. And now I'll get back to painting some Fallout.